Hello, it's that time again. Questions and answers. Are there some questions today, Ray? I think there's some very philosophical ones, aren't there?
Yeah, we've got a couple today.
Okay. First question.
Okay. Is our experience of life completely personal, or is it a shared experience?
Okay, that's a good question. I think it's both, really. At the core of the mystical experience, this question is asked by some great philosophers: the internal, the external, the corporal, the incorporeal. I think it's a completely personal experience, our lives, in as much that no one else will experience life like you experience life. No one else in the whole of human history, gone and to come. Your expression of life and your experience of life is completely unique. But saying that, there is still the scope for the shared experience. So, objective experience as well as internal experience. So, yes, our experience of life is completely personal, but the whole beauty of life is the fact that we can connect with other people and have a shared experience as well. So, it's kind of both. Life is completely personal and unique to us, and yet we can share it with others, and that's a great gift when we share like this. I hope that answers that question. Next question.
The next is the predestination of all our outcomes actually fatalistic, or is it designed by some bigger universal mind?
Okay, that's very philosophical. Fatalism versus predestination. Uh, we can kind of. It's too early in the morning for these questions, but we can kind of break this down a little bit. If what we're asking is all of our collective actions, our free will, as a race, as a species, if it's taking us to a point of complete annihilation and destruction, then that is completely our fault, okay? And there's no one else to blame. But if it's part of a greater divine plan, then how can this be so? How could God be so cruel? This is the argument of the atheist often. Fatalism versus predestination. How can there be a God if we're all going to destroy ourselves? Now, I'd break this down and make it simpler than that sort of overthinking question there. I would say that we're not supposed to destroy ourselves. The fact that we have free will and it looks like the world's going the wrong way is our fault. But regardless of the wrong actions that we take and the wrong decisions that we make, the divine always flips those bad choices into a good outcome, regardless of how bad we make things for ourselves and for our planet. There is always a good outcome in the end. The light always wins in the end. So what that does is, when we make wrong choices, is it takes us away from us being a part of the victory of material, of matter turning into light. But it still happens. Eventually we all go back to the light, and eventually the divine creates all the negatives and turns them into a positive. So yeah, to sum it up, we're not supposed to destroy ourselves as a race, and we're not supposed to be destroying the planet. Our free will is causing us to go down a track that is very dark, but that's not the divine's path. We're not supposed to be going down that path. We're supposed to be living with nature, with this wonderful gift that we've been given of Mother Nature, planet Earth, as a wonderful Garden of Eden. We're supposed to be in balance with that. We're not, but that's our own choice, and that's on our shoulders. But regardless of this, I will just add at the end and reiterate, regardless of bad choices, we will still eventually make it to a point of light. And that's an expression of divine compassion. It's an expression of how much the divine can forgive us, giving us this wonderful gift, and we destroy it, but we're still led into victory anyway. So I wouldn't go with the atheist on this sense of fatalism, the fact that we're going to be destroying the planet and that's part of a divine plan. Of course, it's not part of the divine plan. And we all know that, don't we? Okay, I hope that answers that intellectual question so early in the morning. Ria, have you got any questions today? Putting you on the spot there.
Not today, thanks, Johnny.
Okay, maybe next time then. Well, thank you for sending in those questions. Very deep, very, very deep this morning. Please send your questions in to next month's questions and answers, and we'll do our best to answer them. Okay, and I'll just leave you on this thought. This woolen hat that I was examining is like a very rich tapestry, and our connections, people to people, is like those threads. We connect with other people, we share our experience, and that's what makes life worth living. It's that rich tapestry of life when we make connections with other people. That's what's important. It was never supposed to be on our own. We're always supposed to be connected. Connections are everything. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye bye now.